All right, so topography today. What a key topic when evaluating raw land and its development potential. And topography has a major impact. One of the key components of understanding topography is how it changes the cost of development. Yes, topography can dictate whether a piece is even developable or not. Yes, and we can talk about that. But more than not, the main way that topography affects our projects or our development potential is the cost or additional cost that topography will generate or cause to a development project, to a point where actually the piece might almost be unfeasible, right? Or even though, yes, everything lines up, it can be developed, but when you look at the cost to actually develop it because of the topography, it's not feasible, right? It could be that it costs more to develop the property than what the actual finished lots, or for say a home builder, what the improved, with all the infrastructure in, finished lots sitting there ready to build a home on, what the value of those finished lots are is less than what it costs you to actually develop the project. And that's not even taking into account what you had to pay for the land. We've had situations where the cost to develop the project because of the topography has actually made it to where the land is worth nothing to us. Not only is it worth nothing to us, but that a seller would actually have to pay us to take their land because of the topography. So you got to understand, when you have a piece of land that, say, is upsloping, right? Let's just take the street. Let's just say you're sitting on the street, right? Standing on the street, and the land is sloping up from the access point of the property. Well, you think about that logically, practically, and it's going to cost more to develop that, to do all the site work, right? The excavation, to put in all the trenching, the utilities, put in the streets. It's going to cost more to develop a piece of upsloping land than it is a flat piece of land. Substantially more, potentially. And not only, when we're talking about upsloping land, not only could it affect the cost substantially, but in a lot of areas, the land actually becomes undevelopable if it's too steep. In a lot of areas, there's what's called a steep slope overlay, and where they won't even allow you to develop a portion of the property, or maybe even all of the property. Okay, I don't think we need to spend much time talking about flat land. It's the easiest for us. It's the most cost effective. A builder would much rather build on a flat lot than an upsloping lot or a downsloping lot. And so flat's easy. I don't think we need to spend any time on that today. But then also you have what's called downsloping lots, right? So it slopes away from the street, right? Let's just here again, say you're standing on the street and the land slopes downhill from the street. Well, here again, it's going to cost more to develop that land, just like the upslope. But also, a lot of times what we run into a problem with downsloping properties is utilities. And what I mean by this is, like, take sanitary sewer, right? Sanitary sewer usually needs to gravity flow, meaning that it needs to flow downhill to your main trunk lines that are usually in the public right of way. And so sometimes if the jurisdiction won't allow you to pump that sewer uphill, that property becomes undevelopable because it can't gravity flow. Or let's say they will allow you to pump it. Well, that's great, but remember, that's yet an additional cost to your development to put in those pumps, right? Often called pump stations or lift stations. And that can cause, those aren't cheap. Let's just put it that way. And so topography is such a key thing. Remember, flat is what everybody ideally wants to build homes on, or I don't care what asset class it is, right? I don't care if it's storage. I don't care if it's apartments. I don't care if it's industrial, where, like, everybody wants to build on flat. It's the cheapest to develop. Okay. It's the most efficient, and it's the most user-friendly. And quite frankly, the end user is, you want your land to be as usable as possible. So yes, topography is important related to the usability, but the biggest thing I want you to remember related to topography is the cost related to developing property that is either upsloping or downsloping. It literally will kill projects. And that is very, very common for topography to destroy a project because it makes the project unfeasible. So if you have any takeaway today from this video, it would definitely be that, thinking about the cost of development when it comes to property that is not flat. Okay, and so how does this all relate to VestRight? Well, at VestRight, we talk about, well, many things, but we talk about these 5 key points, right? We talk about zoning, we talk about utilities, we talk about access to the property, we talk about overlays, we talk about topography. And then within VestRight, we go deep into these categories so that you fully understand them in and out. Because if you don't understand, and those are just 5 things, right? There's many others, but if you don't understand these types of things, then it's going to be very, very difficult for you to ever come across a piece of raw land and know its development potential, right? Or even that it might have development potential, but can it feasibly be developed? And if it can be, what are the costs entailed there, to where what is that land actually worth? Is that it's so important to not come play in my space, in my business model, come operate in the development space without being educated. And I can speak directly to this, because 20 years ago when I got into this, there's not a whole lot I knew. And I made lots and lots of mistakes. Luckily, I learned through those mistakes, but that's the beauty of VestRight and why I created it, is to take this specialized knowledge I have and teach what no one else is teaching. So hopefully I gave you some quick nuggets there, some things to think about related to raw land with development potential, and specifically the topic of topography. All right, so you've got to have questions related to topography, right? You may not even heard that word before. I don't know. But if you have specific questions related to topography, put it in the comments below. Engage with us, ask us questions, and we will respond accordingly. And of course, if you found any value in this video at all, will you do me a favor? Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it. We want to get this information out there to more the merrier, right? We're looking to touch as many lives as we can and to be a part of their journey. Also, I got a free gift for you. I want you to go download my free playbook or ebook, whatever you'd like to call it. And the link is below. So go download my free ebook /playbook. And we're going to go much deeper into raw land with development potential and exactly what that means. And I would bet that once you go through that free ebook or playbook, that you're going to come out the other side much more knowledgeable related to raw land with development potential and just the development industry in general. So with that said, take care and enjoy that book.